Hey everyone, welcome to CTS1110. This is a microcomputer operating system course. Now we deal with everything from mobile devices to Linux, to Mac, to PC. Deal with all the operating systems that we have time to deal with. And I try to be very comprehensive in this course. And we're dealing with the A+, half of the A+ certification in this course. Now, others may not address it in this course. They try to do it all in one course, but I do half of it in this course and half of it in CTS 1150, the hardware side in 1150 and the software operating system side in 1110. So let's go look at the course. This will be a little bit different view because I'm in an instructor or administrator view. And I have to because of pass-through permissions and access controls associated with my account. If I switch over to student view, it just won't let me get where we're going to need to get for me to show you everything. So let's pop on into the start menu. This is where the video is that I'm recording right now. So you would, if you're seeing this, it's in there. Got a description of the course and objectives. Now, we go on down to, let's go look at information, course information, due dates. There's catalog information about the course itself and a description of how to access the calendar. If we go look in the calendar, you'll see when it comes up, it's a bit laggy today. We don't see any assignments in here in August. That's because I don't assign anything here in the early part of the term other than get your mind tab set up. Start reading. Those are things, they're not graded. All right. But if we move forward to September, I got a bunch of things due there on the 12th and the 19th. So given that, we need to keep track of what's due, when it's due, because there's things we've got to make sure that we're on track with what's due, when it's due, and get it done ahead of time. Keep in mind, this is the DUE date, not the DO date. Okay, so with that said, let's pop back to our course start menu, start here menu. Course materials, you'll see the info in the syllabus. It's in a link on the left-hand menu for simple syllabus. Okay, grading, there's a grades link on the left. You can go in there and see where you stand at any point in time, what's weighted and how it's weighted. And aside from that, you'll also see the ability to do a what-if analysis. So, well, what if I did really bad on this thing? How will that impact my grade? Discussions, different info about discussions. I'm not going to get into detail on all these because this is things you can go in and take care of yourself. Now we've got student introductions here, where you just go in and get to know who else is in the course. Say hello. It's not a graded item, but it helps you understand who you're in the course with. And these people you meet in these courses could be somebody you bring to work with you. You get them a job or they get you a job. So we've got different course policies. I've got what I call my had a bad day policy. And it should be in here by now, but for some reason I didn't update it. And I'll have it updated. But in this section, if you go in the start here, 4.1, you'll see my had a bad day policy. And my had a bad day policy, I don't accept late work, but I do understand that we all have a bad day. And for each course, it's a little bit different. I drop a number of the mind tap exercises. And depending on the course, it could be a lot. I may drop a project, drop a test or two, a discussion, reflection, and I list all that. You'll see it in here after I post this video. I'll have it updated. Okay. So with that said, I don't do late work. If it's due on a certain date, make sure it's done by that date. I usually get grading done within about 24 hours of the due date. Now, projects may take longer because, I think back to this past summer, I had close to 200 projects come in all within a 24-hour period. Now, that's a lot to get graded in a short period of time. So just understand that it's not just the group that you're in that I'm grading, it's everybody, and I try to be fair about it. If you need a score back real quick, let me know. We could address that. Communication's key in these things. I don't require APA or MLA. It's not to say others don't. So it could be in your best interest to get used to it and do whatever you can in APA to where it becomes second nature for you. As opposed to, well, I avoid it, and then when I do have to do it, I'm not comfortable with it, I do poorly with it. Right? Practice makes perfect. That's a lot of what we do in these assignments is practice, practice, practice. So if you're practicing your APA formatting, get more comfortable with it. Okay? We've got different technology requirements. The majority of what we do is Mac friendly. There may be something that is not Mac friendly, and in the event that we run into something that's not, let me know that the issue exists, and we'll see what we can do to work through it. Okay. That's security and privacy. Read through that on your own time, and I won't take all of it, all this time up with you. Different policies on privacy and accessibility. Some cybersecurity lab info. And here's a list of all different resources available to you through the college. Okay, I've added in something in the past couple of terms called a reflection. Now, some don't care for it so much because, it's just more work to do. But what it does, talk about here in a little bit, but think of it as it's a tool for me to give future students tips and tricks on how to get through this course, what to expect. So the more feedback and info I get from you, the better I can build out this section and an insight page that I am adding into the courses. If you haven't taken a Canvas ELO 1000 yet, please go do it. Okay, it's not optional. I need you to understand this LMS because this is not the same as Blackboard. If you did this in Blackboard already, doesn't count. These things are distinctly different. I'd rather not hear a couple months from now, I wasn't able to do that. I didn't know how. I thought I had to take an hour, 2 hours at the tops to get an understanding of what it is we're dealing with here in this LMS so that there are no issues on time limitations, how you upload something, how you access something, how you post something. That's what this tells you. It's free. You register for it just like you registered for this class. Okay, now let's go look here at our Module 1 overview. Now, I think we've got 10 modules in this course, and each module is a different chapter within the book. There are 2 or 3 modules that overlap with my CTS 1150 course. So if you've recently taken that, there'll be a couple of chapters that are the same thing. You're doing it again. Okay, it's overlapping material between the 2 tests. That's why it's covered in both. Now, with that said, got an overview of what we're dealing with in this chapter, what the publisher says they want to make sure we're covering, and what it is that we're addressing relative to our course learning outcomes. Got a list of different resources. Now, these, review and practice, they are not graded. Now, this assignment support form is graded, but I don't grade it until Module 10. Now, let's go pop in there and see what it is so you have an understanding of what it is I'm talking about. So here's the assignment support form. It's a discussion. Given that a lot of what we're doing is virtual, and the term that I'm recording this, both sections of this course are either online or remote. There's nothing in the classroom. if you were in the classroom, you could look over to the person next to you and say, hey, what did he just say? Do you understand this? How did you get there? What is this? You can lean over and ask somebody a question. Well, we don't have that ability in a traditional online course, but I built this discussion for you to be able to do that. You're having a problem with an exercise, a project, whatever it may be, pop in here and ask somebody, hey, anybody else have a problem with this? If you found something that may help somebody else in the class, post it in here. This is a graded discussion as part of the discussions group. You only have to post to this forum 3 times within the course of the entire course. So over this term of 15-week course, over 15 weeks, one would only have to post 3 times. It doesn't all have to be you posting to somebody else. It could be, hey, I'm having a problem. Here's what the problem is. There's one post. Somebody else had a problem. You helped them out with it. There's another post. You found something neat that could help out on a project. There's another post. There's your 3. Avoid a good idea, nice post. I really like that kind of responses. So as we progress through it, that's graded, and it's graded in Module 10. These lab manuals, they're practice. If you want to do them, do them. If you don't have time for them, that's up to you. They're not graded, they're not required, but they help. Okay. Now, in this module discussion, we click on it. I need you to do a substantive response to one of these topics. Now here I've got 7 different topics. Okay. If you come in the upper right corner, click see the rubric. Here's how I'm grading this thing. So I'm going to go through and click the corresponding box to come up with your grade. Do you need a main post, which is one of those, preferably by Thursday of the week that it's due, to allow others time to respond to it, as well as 2 responses to another post. It could be you made a post, somebody responded to your post, and you responded to them. That's a valid post. It needs to be at least 25 words and be substantive. Now, please don't have it be like, I like what you said, Jim. That really made me understand what you were talking about, and I get the concept now. I really bet everybody else will benefit from your post. This was a post that everybody's going to remember a month from now. Now, that doesn't bring anything to the discussion, but it may make that person that made the post feel good. This isn't about making somebody feel good. This is about bringing substance to the conversation so that people are walking away with a better understanding of these concepts. Okay? Cite your sources when you can. If there's any question, confusion, let me know. Okay? You need 3 posts in each one of these discussions. So Module 1, 3. Module 2, 3. Now, we've got MindTap, and you can access the graded items here. If you set up MindTap, set it up through these links, and I forgot to check. MindTap is currently down. I just posted an announcement. MindTap is currently down, and I posted an announcement, and you can see in there a link to see if it is up and running yet. And it's not. MindTap is down. The LMS integration's down. So what that means is I could go in through the MindTap link through Cengage and access my content there. And then once they get that integration back up, the grades will sync. Okay. Now, that said, I have some supporting videos from time to time, and I link them on the right. If you see this little red symbol, that means that item is in Canvas. If you see the little blue pinwheel, that means it's in Cengage. Okay, so I've got a number of labs here to perform or complete. There's a test. You click on it, it's in Canvas. Now, since it's in Canvas, it's graded. It's worth 100 points. See how many questions we got in here. You can do these as many times as you want. 25 questions. Okay. If you didn't like your score, go back and do it again. It'll keep the highest score. You can do as many times as you want, as long as it's completed prior to the due date. Now, the reflections, I kind of hit on it before. Let's talk about it. I've got you a template here to complete now. In previous terms, I didn't have one in it. Made it cumbersome and people were submitting it incorrectly. So just open up this document, fill it out, and then submit it. And what's in it? Everything you see in here is in it. This is what you learned from this module. What do you feel is important to your future, your career? How will you use it? I want you to look back and see what did I walk away with that I didn't have before? What really sunk in? What do I see that was really important in this module? How smoothly did it go? Was it okay? Was there something you didn't understand? Where did you have problems? And if it was really smooth, let me know what helped to make it smooth. Okay. Did you find something outside of the course that maybe will help others in the future? Did you find some resource? Let's say you're working on a project for this module. Did you find something out there on the internet that could help others work on their project? Number 4, evaluate the module in level of difficulty on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being very difficult, 1 being very easy or comfortable. Well, a lot of times I see where somebody said, it took me a half an hour to do this, and it was very easy, comfortable. So they'd say 1 here, and how much time did you spend? In hours, half an hour. And don't put days or weeks or minutes. In the past, I'm trying to tabulate all this data. I'm trying to process it and get information to provide to you. So I'm getting the information from the previous 2 terms, and I'm building out a page that will take this information and give you a heads up that, hey, expect it on average takes about 2.5 hours for this module or whatever it may be. If somebody says, it took me a week to complete it, it's hard to believe that it took somebody 7 days at 24 hours a day to complete one of these modules. Right? So if we're using the same measure, it helps. So we're going to use hours. When it comes to these courses and the fact that we've got remote built into them, time management is an issue. And even with face-to-face class, you still have to manage your time outside the class. So with that said, was time management an issue in this module? And if so, what did you do to help address it moving forward? Are there any tips or tricks when it comes to time management that you could share with others that may help them that came to light this module? Now on this, it could be, no, wasn't an issue. I don't have anything. That's a valid response. I'm just looking to see what information, what feedback I can get each module rather than wait till the end of the term and you don't feel like dealing with it and you don't remember half of the issues that came up from a month and a half, 2 months ago. I need to know about these problems when they come up. So if you're having a problem in a module, you're struggling with it, what hurt, what beat you up, whatever it may be, let me know, and then I can react to it to support you or support the class. Okay. So, that said, I'm not putting these in there to punish anybody. It's there as a constructive resource to help others and help you. All right. So with that said, we've got a project, and I think this is probably the only project in this course. Now, this is networking PLO. So in the networking program, we get a program learning outcome. Here's how I'm grading it is with this rubric. Now, I want you to compare and contrast at least 3 different operating systems. Now, it could be Linux, Mac, OS X, Windows 10. There's 3 different ones. Or it could be Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 10. Those are 3 different, very different operating systems. So I've got a form for you to fill out. And if we open it up, We'll look at it real quick to see what kind of things you're going to have to deal with. So here it is. So you'll enter in the functionality, each of the operating systems by name, and then whether they have it, and if they do have it, something about it. These things need to be substantive and not just yes, no, yes, whether it's present or not. Is it present? Do they all have it? Is it the same in all? Is one better than another? This is a way for you to compare and contrast, not just to list attributes, but to actually compare and contrast them. Which one's better? Which one's worse? And why? Okay. Now you'll upload that to Dropbox, and like I said, yours looks a little different because you're on the student side. Now, with that said, let's pop back into modules. And if you look in modules, you can see whatever you have access to. And like I said, these lab manuals, they're not graded. But once we get from the discussion down, try to have them all set up the same way. From the discussion down is graded. Make sure that you've gone through and done each one by the due date. You can see the due date here. You can see the due date in the calendar. You can see the due date in the assignments tab. Okay. The rubrics, keep in mind, most of the time you'll see either the rubric below the item like you did with that project, or you'll see the three little buttons or three little dots in the upper right hand corner of the graded item, like in the discussions. Click it and it'll say show or view rubric, so that you can see it and see how it's being evaluated. All right. I look forward to the rest of the term with you. I mean, the time that I'm recording this, we got a 15-week term ahead of us. This is the first term after COVID where we're back face-to-face in some instances. So this is huge. Ask questions early and often. Communicate. On the left-hand tab over here, you see the inbox. I've got a message coming in. If you got questions, reach out to me. Let me know. Okay? I'll see you in the class. Have a great day.